Hello beautiful people! It's your girl Social Anita coming at you with another video this week. I say it every week and I'm gonna say it again. Yes, I will be posting new videos every single week, so be sure to check out my channel every week. Just stop by and see what I got going on. But for this week, I wanted to make a video for you guys about 5 tips that can be very helpful when it comes to trying to grow long natural hair. And for those of you who do not think it is possible, keep on watching because I'm going to drop some knowledge. Word. And if you're wondering what qualifies me to talk about this topic, well, I've been natural for 5 years, and in the past 5 years, I have seen my hair flourish and I have seen my hair crash and burn, okay? So my hope is that by sharing the things that I've learned along the way with you, like I said in my introduction video, that it will be able to help you flourish, okay? So I just want to shed some light on a very common natural misconception, and that is the fact that some people actually think that some people's hair does not grow. That is a misconception. From my understanding, hair always grows, okay? In fact, hair grows about ½ an inch on average every month, so you could be more, you could be less. But I do feel like the main reasons why a lot of people think their hair is not growing or think that other people's hair is not growing, it's because if your hair is breaking at the same pace that it's growing, you're not gonna see your hair growing. So, with that being said, hair grows. However, I do want to talk about some different ways that you can retain length, okay?
Number 1.
So the first thing that you always want to make sure that you're doing is that you're moisturizing your hair, okay? Chances are, if you're watching this video right now, you have dry hair. You have to put oil in your hair. You have to put some type of moisture in your hair. You don't just have sebum running down your hair strands. So you have to moisturize your hair. If your hair is dry, it's going to be more brittle and it's going to break. Point blank, period. Number 2. So the second tip I have for you guys is watch your ends, okay? Not your edges. You need to watch those too, because you know what? They go away sometimes for like extended periods of times if you don't treat them right. You know what I'm saying? Watch your ends. The reason why you want to watch your ends is because your ends are actually the oldest part of your hair. Yes, your ends are the oldest part of your hair, so they need to be treated with a lot of love and a lot of kindness and a lot of patience. Depending on how long you've been natural, your ends have been with you from the beginning. They have been experiencing the wear and tear of putting your hands in your hair or combing your hair or touching your hair or putting styles in your hair. So it's very important that you take care of your ends. When you're putting things in your hair to moisturize your hair, make sure that you get your ends. If you can, style your hair in such a way where your ends are being tucked away, like right now, the back of my hair, you can see like tucked away, that they're just not out in the open. It's good for your hair. Protect your ends. Protective styles, that's what they're meant for, to protect your ends, you know, so that they can, yeah. So protect your ends. Number 3. The third tip I want to give you guys about how you can retain length is kind of what I talked about on my 5 things I think every natural should know video. Learn to leave your hair alone. Have you ever met anybody, or have you ever seen it this where somebody you know, or maybe you saw on YouTube, just kept their hair in braids for like 5 years or something, and then all of a sudden their hair was just looked like a natural weave? Well, it's because they left their hair alone. So protective styles come in handy when it comes to this, because the reality is hair likes to be left alone, okay? What happens is their hair doesn't have to go under the stress of having someone manipulate it and touch it and do a whole bunch of things to it and potentially break and potentially rip out your hair. I personally would recommend you to just do it all the time. I think it's very important that as your hair grows, you're learning how to deal with it and you're learning what to do with it, so that way your hair just doesn't just grow and you're not just like, what do I do now? And then it all breaks and then it's just like, yeah. But I do encourage protective styles every now and again, because I think that they really can help to promote long, healthy, natural hair. Number 4. The 4th tip I have for you guys has to do with trimming your hair. Okay, so I'm gonna put it out there. Trimming your hair is necessary. For all my naturals, if you're anything like me, when I first went natural, I'm sorry to tell you this, but trimming your hair is necessary. So trimming your hair is definitely necessary. The only thing is that I've watched videos and I've heard from some people who say that, yeah, you gotta trim your hair every 3 to 4 weeks, every 3 to 4 months, every 6 weeks, and they give you all these numbers. But the reality is, if you're trying to achieve long hair, you don't need to trim your hair unless it needs to be trimmed, okay? So I went one time 6 months without trimming my hair just because of the fact that my hair was healthy. I kept it very detangled and separated and was taking care of it and all that stuff. So there was no need to trim my hair, okay? So if you don't need to trim your hair, don't just trim your hair to say that you did it. It's just not worth it, especially if you're trying to achieve long hair. The second thing I want to talk about in regards to trimming your hair is the fact that when you trim your hair, okay, make sure that you're only trimming off what needs to be trimmed. Now, I know that this can be really difficult, especially when you go to hairstylists, but make sure that you watch their scissors and you watch their hands, because some hairstylists are just scissor happy. I personally trim my hair by myself, and I literally just trim off what needs to be trimmed, especially because I'm not trying to get a haircut. I have hair goals that I'm trying to achieve and all that jazz. So yeah. So remember, you need to trim your hair, but only trim what you need to trim off and only trim it when it needs to be trimmed. Number 5. Be careful when you are coloring and straightening your hair, okay? 9 times out of 10, some of my major setbacks were a result of straightening my hair and coloring my hair. I used to straighten my hair a lot more. Now, not so much because I'm being super careful because I just have this hair goal. And unfortunately for me, I actually got heat damage a lot of different times, okay? So when you're straightening your hair, make sure that you're using your heat protectant. Make sure the person who's straightening your hair knows what they're doing. Make sure that the plates that you're straightening your hair with are good plates. Like ceramic plates are really good for straightening hair. Other plates, oftentimes, they're more likely to just burn your hair and mess up your natural curl pattern. You don't want to have to start from scratch just because you wanted your hair to be straight for like a day. And in terms of color, well, bleach can be very rough on hair. And the reality is, if you have dark hair like me, which I'm sure a lot of the people watching this probably have dark hair like me, you're probably going to have to bleach your hair to get the color that you want in your hair. And bleach is just, it can just be very drying, and it's just a lot to deal with. So make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, especially, like I said, if you're trying to have that journey, if you have that in your mind that I want to have long natural hair. So that's a tip that I have for you guys. This may not necessarily apply to everyone, or it may not be as helpful to everyone, because at the end of the day, people go natural for different reasons. Like some people, they really don't care if their hair gets heat damage because they're trying to heat train their hair anyway. And other people, they don't mind taking the risk to color their hair. Their journey may not necessarily be about just achieving length. Maybe it's just about having funky retro styles. Hopefully this helped you if you're trying to achieve long natural hair. Leave some comments below, tell me what you think. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. But thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Thank you for all of you guys who have been subscribing. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But until next time, peace and blessings.